Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. I'm sat in the shed surrounded by some of my collection, which can only mean it's time for What's Broken Now. And we're going to start this episode off with something exciting, because the inevitable has once again happened, and I have purchased another vehicle. And when I say purchased, I mean was given for free. And when I say vehicle, I mean a shell.
Now, the main reason for trying to restore life to the big yellow lumbering thing wasn't just so I could take it out and actually use the thing, or, to slightly up my rather bad ratio of working to was that it was actually rather in the way, because it's been blocking this. My orange Lotus Elite conversion with the Rover SD1. And the last time this really appeared on the channel was way back in What's Broken Now episode 3 or 4. At which point we disassembled it and concluded that it was well and truly knackered. And it is. And there's this big bit in the front that's kind of missing. And we realised that the easiest way to fix this would be really to acquire another Lotus. I have made many mistakes. This is my latest mistake.
So imagine my joy one day when I was browsing the internets on the Facebook and I saw, offered free to a good home, a Lotus Elite shell, which looked pretty good and complete. So I went, yes please, I'll come get this. So I grabbed Matt, I snuck into where I used to work, borrowed the works van and set off down south. Normally when we do something here at LMM, things don't go to plan. In fact, it's pretty common for things to go rather wrong. However, today I think I have outdone myself. You see, the plan was to go and liberate the van and the trailer from work last night. And so I would be ready to go this morning. But it didn't really work out. It is, I don't know what time of night, and I am sat on the floor outside work with the van because I've got no lights on my trailer. And so I've taken this apart to try and work out if it was one of these that are loose. Bolts didn't come off, so I've just used a hacksaw to remove the bolts, and it's just going to float around there for a bit and just see if I can get lights, because as you may be able to tell, it is dark and the trailer is over there. It's dark, so not having lights is a bad thing. I'm going to be honest, that's not my finest work that I've ever done. By a long shot you may be able to see it's just hanging there, and what appears to have happened is the wire, the cover there that stops water getting in, I think has broken, or rather I hope has broken. So I'm hoping that now I've taken it apart in the dark on the cold concrete and pulled the trailer back over to it, hopefully when I connect it back up, hopefully it's going to work again. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have a real problem for tomorrow, because I kind of need the van to move the thing. I am cursed. That's what we've concluded. Everything I touch breaks. Everything I touch breaks. And so at 10 o'clock last night, with random things happening with the lights, I abandoned the trailer at work, and I have now been to pick it up this morning, now that I have lights on and I have working indicators and brakes and some other lights that seem to be functioning. And I got to this very point here last night before the trailer died, and I had to turn around with the hazards on and limp it back to work. So now, from this very moment now, we're making progress, and this is now positive, and we are moving forward.
Alright, if we just give it a bit of a... Go again, Matt. Yep. How is it?
might want to jack up a bit now.
Yeah.
I reckon that'll be alright.
It's either going to be okay or we'll break it, so...
Can't get any worse than what we've got.
Yeah, go through. Right, there we go. Put that down. Yeah, it's off the jack, so keep it going, Matt. Okay, so I'll be honest, possibly a tad worse than I thought it was going to be.
It's not worse. This is literally better condition than your current one, and it has less wheels than your current one.
Technically, my current one has no wheels attached to it at all.
Like, I'm not quite sure how much you can believe this, but the absolute wreck, which is missing most of its suspension, that is on the back here, is in better condition than yours.
The shell is notably better,
Yeah.
Mainly because some moron hasn't come along to it and cut the part that holds the front end together away.
The chassis not so much, but we don't particularly care about that,
No,
so that's fine.
The chassis looks a little bit... I'm sure mine's been galvanised. I'm sure my one said, when I got it, it had a galvanised chassis.
It's also a very easy way to sell someone something when you know it hasn't been done. So, oh, it genuinely is galvanised, I can promise you.
I think...
Until you see it fall in half on the road in front of you.
The chassis looks better on my one than this one.
It does, this one's a bit tattered.
This one, the gentleman said that he bought it out of a field, so it's been sat...
It smells of a field inside.
Does it?
It's bad. You refuse to put your nose in it.
No,
That's very disappointing.
I'm going to put my nose in it when we get it home after it's had all the fresh air blowing through it and it's made it better.
It's not going to make it better, I can tell you that much.
It's What's interesting is this though is the 503, which is like the upmarket version. This had the power steering and the air conditioning, and it's got a sunroof.
Yeah.
Whereas my one doesn't have any of these things.
It also has some percent of a vinyl roof, which is gradually decreasing as we drive.
I can see it in my mirror, and it's just flapping about, going. I don't know if we'll have it when we get back, but it's really interesting to see all the trim on it that it should have that my current one is lacking.
Minus the little side strips, which...
Yeah, which I think it should have. I don't know if it should or not.
It looks like something was stuck there in a past life.
It looks like it's had a lot of things stuck to it in the past.
Yeah, like wheels.
Oh, but it does come with the proper wheels. Do you like them? I really like them.
I like the ones you had on yours currently.
See, I like the look of that. I like how mine looked with the orange and the black and that kind of thing. But the car that's behind us, the car that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
That's
just the wrong colour.
I kind of really like the blue.
But why are you going to take away the best paint of the vehicle you own?
Out of everything I own,
Yeah.
it is not the best.
Yes, it is. Basically is.
How basic is that?
Everything of yours needs paint.
Everything needs paint.
Yep. Once again, it broke. We cannot do a single epoxy trip, without requiring these guys to come and rescue us. It's not real. So, parked up with a Lotus at light, now with working lights. There we are. It's got lights again. Nice man from the AA has worked magic, and the car and the trailer is back, and the van has got working lights. So there's a fault somewhere down here in them. Don't know where, don't know what the problem was, but it is now actually solved, and we can go home.
Obviously we need, if we're going to put this assembly on that car so we can wheel it in here.
I suppose the problem is that is a Lotus Excel chassis, and the one outside is a Lotus Elite chassis.
Could very well be.
I kind of assumed, obviously wrongly, that because it was the same basic thing, it would be the same.
Well, yeah, I think we all did. We all thought it would be the same, but it's not the same.
Okay, so what's the plan now?
Well, I guess we've got to drag it in.
Okay.
There's nothing there.
Oh, I see that. It's a totally different design, isn't
See
it?
how like, there's a bar in the middle, so I wonder if it's supposed to have something else. It's just a different design.
Now, somewhere in the back of it, the guy said there was the suspension bits.
You could have told me this earlier before I disassembled your old car.
Well, I kind of just thought it would fit, and I thought that'd be easier, but... The good news is it's almost the height of a proper colour.
Well, leave it. I think that's enough, mate.
I'll get you one more, 2 more. They're not
The higher it goes, the more sketchier it is. Lawrie, stop it! Lawrie, that's way too much.
Stop taking the car. I'm enjoying putting it up. The first thing once you
I like how 5 minutes ago you were like, oh, I don't like this, it's too sketchy. So I'm loving this.
Well, I'm clear of it now. And also, he can't go anywhere, he'll just fall down on the jack. Will they set fit the fit or not?
No.
Different stud pattern?
No, the hub's too big.
That's fine, I think. I told you I'll get one
too big.
That's alright. We've got other rotten wheels to put on it.
The actual wheels. These ones are actually inflated.
That one's got a giant egg in the side.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, got there. Yeah, that's knackered. Not going on the road with that.
Oh no, I don't think it is an egg. I think it's just a really bad flat spot where that sidewall's just collapsed from where it's been sat on it.
There we go. Right, first question. Oh, listen to that.
Oh, it turns.
Just. Stop messing about. Well, the whole point was to see if the wheel turned. If the wheel didn't turn, there'd be no point in putting the epoxy wheel on, would there? Cool, coming down.
That sounds very unhappy.
It is, however, sat on this wonderful tyre.
Wonderful.
Celebratory non-brand cola.
I love the angle it's sat at now. It looks like it's going around a corner really hard. And has lost a wheel.
It's gone around that corner very fast. Oh, it does as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's like banking in.
It does look, however, a lot happier now it's got another wheel on it. It looks less of an absolute wreck.
Yes, about 25% less of an absolute wreck.
Do you think it wasn't
Can we just lift that corner now?
Yeah, I reckon I can lift it out. If we get rid of that piece of wood, then we can get the jack under that, and then we can put the axle stand next. Shall we
Oh god.
Shall we get this all ready for it first before we start?
I was literally just putting them on, so it's
Yeah.
just a good point.
Yeah.
So what do we actually need to do? Also, I'd just
We
like
need
to point
to build
out
suspension.
actual axle stands. We're doing things properly for once.
Well, it's an axle stand on a rotten chassis, which
No, that bit is good. The front bits aren't so good. That bit is
that bit's fine.
yes. Ish is a key word in this actually. Does Morgan know how to build suspension? I don't think so.
Yeah, you done right?
Is you fine, right?
I can always go home and let you do it, you lazy shit.
I do not like this.
So I just weld it on there. Is the bolt in?
It's not through this side yet because it's twisted.
I can't see like the hole.
There.
Oh, there, yeah, it's nearly coming through. Yeah, there you go.
I did something!
Did you use your favourite tool?
Himself.
He's a good spanner.
With friends like you, who need enemies?
Not you, you genuinely get nothing done.
This has taken significantly longer than I thought it was going to.
Anything takes longer than you think it's
Always does.
not high enough.
Right, keep going.
We're on that left side. We're good this side.
Yeah. Coming into its new home. Graveyard.
Graveyard, that's the right road, isn't it?
Right. Slowly. We want to watch your nose, don't we?
Well, this is going to be, mate, this is going to have so much clearance. There's nothing to worry about.
Ah!
What?
Keep
He
going.
was just doing a scene out of Austin Powers.
Yeah.
I'm on the winch.
Okay, stop. I'm going to start turning the wheels.
It is the most beautiful shaped car I've ever seen.
Okay, keep going.
We go for what?
We can now. Watch your hands, because that's how I did my hands with my feet.
Well, there's plenty of space around this wheel to not get your hands caught anywhere.
Yeah, well, it looks like it.
Shut up!
That's such a sad noise. And so, just like that, it's been offloaded with no problems whatsoever. What we have done is we've made it better. It now has 4 wheels and it moves relatively easy, which is a huge improvement on where it was when it started. And it actually looks like a car. And already I'm starting to change my mind on wanting to repaint it into yellow because I like the blue, I love the chrome. And it's very instantly obvious the differences between this one and my one, particularly the vinyl roof, the chrome one here, and the fact that this front end here, if you push that, the whole front end of the car moves rather than just the front corner. It also has the proper Lotus Elite wheels, which I really, really like. So obviously there is no engine in it, which is why the whole thing is quite high off the ground and gives it this kind of slightly weird look. And there's other things that since we left our starting point, we've now lost one of the lights. And yeah, I've also rather disappointedly on that side, I think we've lost the piece of trim that goes over this piece here, which had the 503, which is the top spec edition. And that apparently has blown off somewhere on our journey home, which is deeply upsetting. I don't know if I can get another one. Also very upsetting is there should be a piece of chrome running along here, and trying to source that is near on impossible. I wanted chrome for that one, but I can't get it. Now, you might notice the paint is somewhat knackered, and that's because it is. It does, however, have handles on the door, and a door which opens. And in here, it's vile. Breathe it in. It's awful. There is a lot of evidence that has had mice, a mountain of mouse or rat droppings, and some interior which is probably never ever going back in it. Bits like that, which I think were the centre console, which is also broken. The door cards, which these will clean up. These will be fine. Absolutely. Couple of things to take from that. Firstly, I need to wash my hands. Secondly, it smells awful. Thirdly, it is a wonderful 70s mix of grey and cream, which I kind of want to put into it. Touch that. I don't know. More bits of chrome. Oh, we do have the mirror, the missing windscreen wiper, cigarette thing, more lenses. That's knackered. That's knackered. I've got two bits of, that's just awful. What on earth did that used to be? Oh! That's what the trim was for the handbrake. That is the handbrake. Is that under tray? Is that meant to take the exhaust or something? Heater pipes, more bits. Yeah, okay. So, the main thing I was hoping this might have, which was some of the wonderful Elite dash, it does not have. So that's disappointing. The boot doesn't smell too bad, actually, comparatively to the rest of the car. You may have also noticed things like vinyl is definitely coming off. One nice thing it has that mine doesn't have is that the fuel filler on this side actually goes to the fuel tank and doesn't have some stupid key put into it to wind down the window. All in all, it's that's good enough. I know it doesn't look that good, but it's monumentally better than the orange one over there. And doing this is going to put us so much further ahead by putting this body onto that chassis. And it gives us, well, a complete shell on it, and means that we can actually really push forward with it rather than having hours and hours of work to try and put the other one back together again. So yeah, given a project to try and fix one of our projects and actually get the Lotus a bit further and moving forward down the line. So that's good.
Now, this Lotus Elite that we picked up has no engine, not really much of an interior, and certainly no steering, so trying to manoeuvre it to get it on the trailer was, well, somewhat of a challenge. However, the shell is actually in pretty good condition. It looks scabby and the paint's falling off, but it's most importantly not cracked, and most vitally has the entirety of the front end without various bits being removed. So when you push down on a corner of it, the whole front end drops rather than one end going ah. This represents absolutely years worth of work saved getting my Lotus back onto the road. Morgan had already stripped out the entirety of the inside of my orange one, so having this new blue one pushes that project way further forward. And frankly, I'm really excited for it. It's made me feel excited for the car and wanted to actually get on with the project again. So yeah, one of the oldest vehicles on the collection suddenly has some news. However, the first thing that we had to do was fix the shed.
Now, several of you often wonder why we don't get much done in the shed, and why our project seems to go on for ages and ages and stuff doesn't happen. And that's because frequently we turn up and something like this has happened. Yes, this is the door to the shed. And today, this is as far as it opens, because just up there where the ladder is, the bar that the wheels roll in, because it's a hanging door, the bar's given away. And so the wheels, as you push it open, they go ka-dunk. And now they don't go into it anymore. So what we're about to do is to go up there, cut the section out, and tap it from that end, that way direction, to try and make up for the failure.
I wanted to work on the chimney today.
I've just said this is why we don't get on with anything in our videos, because we turn up and there's stuff like this that needs to be dealt with.
Does it really need to be dealt with?
We can't.
Thinking about it, nothing in there actually can drive out by itself, can it?
So this shows you the failure. So that piece there is meant to be the bottom of the runner there, and then this piece here is where they've separated. So we're going to cut, and you can see just there the bottom that's fallen or been bent out of there. So all of that section there is now missing the bit that holds the wheel, which is just in that bit there in. So yes, I'm going to cut section out and then hammer the living whatever out of this piece to move it in enough, and then tack these two bits together. And then this is why this weekend there will be nothing done in the shed. Also, I really don't like heights, so I've got to be up here. Right, all I need now is a mat to weld these two wonderfully cut pieces, and hopefully it will go through there. Over there, there's another break, so I'm going to have to line that one up and do that as well now. Good. And this is our entire day is going doing this. We haven't touched the vehicle. It's now 4:30 in the afternoon. We've been here all day just trying to fix the door so we can get into the shed.
I was supposed to make brake plates today.
Yep, so I actually have a car that works.
All the grease is burnt off now anyway.
It doesn't appear to be on fire anymore now.
Still smoke coming out from along it, but
we'll just run the wheel through it a few times, that'll take care of it.
welding a lot better now as well.
Well, you've now got a complete thing, haven't you?
Well, I've set it up enough that I can actually weld to the top.
The shed here is not the most modern of structures, and certainly throughout its life it has been improved and modified with a fair bit of farmer logic. That is to say that not every farmer, but certainly the ones that ran this place, bodged it, and the runner that the door sits in had finally given up, and it had become separated, and the runners had fallen out and the door was now sitting on the floor. Luckily though, we're engineers now and we know what we're doing. And you know what? It's better than it's ever been. And then, of course, talking of things that aren't working particularly well, that brings us on quite nicely to the Starlet. Those of you who've watched the entirety of Lemons 2.0 will know that when we had our get-together, that the Starlet, it was revealed, was using a fair amount of oil. So Matt decided it was time to have a look at it and try and figure out quite what was wrong with it.
Right, so back at the end of Lemons, I revealed a bit of a bombshell that this was drinking oil. And I'm 99% sure it is a piston ring which has gone. So we're going to play a fun game of, we're going to bet which one of these cylinders is actually kaput.
Cylinder 1. Money's on cylinder 1.
Piston bingo. I like the sound of this.
Yeah.
I'm going for number 3.
I'll pick 2 then. I don't think it's 4.
Which means that the camera has number 4.
Yeah, you guys are number 4. Right, so number 1.
This is actually quite exciting.
Survey says.
Yeah. Because one of these is going to be black and sooty and horrid and...
Or all of them. What we could have done is we could have taken the leads off and each got a spanner, so each were going to pull out our own centre. Do you know, it's going to be a massive anticlimax if it is one and you just pulled out one and been like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's this one, yeah.
Well, we don't know if it's all of them though.
Ah.
Is that the wrong
I can't say on
size?
camera. No. This normally has like a rubber O-ring inside and it grips the spark plug. And that's fallen off, so I need a pair of long nose pliers.
Right, fine, never mind.
Okay.
We'll come back to this in a minute. And
That's good, that's fine.
Cylinder
It's a
1
bit
is
white,
good.
that's running a little bit late, that's fine.
oh, so I've lost.
You have lost.
Already. You're already out.
Right, so my bet was on 2 and Morgan's was on 3. No, just come back over here, Lawrie, you lazy man. Don't go
I'm not
with
interested now
that
I've
bit.
lost. What happens if
But you
it's
always lose.
What happens if it's none of these?
Yes, that's my question is if we're at the stage that all of these come out being fine.
Well, the problem is there's not oil actually leaking anywhere from the block. The underside is crystal clean.
And around the top of it all is good. Whereas we look at the Reliant,
Yes, and that's just oil everywhere.
yes, it's
so-
just become oily.
Is that loose? I think that might be loose. Let's get my extractor. Is it number 2?
Is it number?
No, it's not number 2.
Who was number 2?
Me.
Oh,
So I'm still in this.
oh, it's between you and,
And
the
the
audience.
And the audience, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to put all these
This
back
is
in.
a, this is a new take on bingo.
No, it's not number 3.
Oh,
There's a lot of carbon built up around the edge, but the actual
Electrode.
is fine, yeah. So
Interesting.
number 3 is a potential, because that does have a lot of carbon making its way up the threads.
so audience, you may be correct.
Or it might be Morgan who's closest.
Oh.
We will find out.
I'm closest so far. but-
Yeah.
You're closest so far in the fact that you're the only one that's undiagnosed.
Exactly.
No. He went for 3, and that is the worst of
Did
the
you?
bunch.
Oh, you
Yeah.
went for 3. Oh, it's the audience that's 4. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the audience which is 4.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I thought it was the other way around. So, because me and Matt are both perfect, we chose perfect spark plugs.
Therefore, you're bad at picking.
The faults, yes. Well, we know that I'm bad at picking faults. It's like, oh, look at that. That looks perfect.
These take a lot more work to come undone. Like, it feels incredibly loose, and it just doesn't seem to actually want to come out.
My favourite thing when we're here is this bit.
Oh, yeah, cable ties, yeah.
Oh, that looks very dirty. No, it doesn't.
No, to be honest, they're all actually all right.
What's that buzzy noise your car makes?
I can't hear a buzzy noise.
Your car just went.
And after all of that, he's concluded that he can't find anything wrong with it. It stopped using as much oil as it had used, and so we've concluded that some kind of evil magic spell was put on it, and it's now passed, and the curse has been lifted, and the car seems to be fine. I don't know. Absolutely no idea what happened with it, but it's running fine, it seems to be good. All's well with the Starlet. And with that, that's all we've been up to over the last couple of weeks. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. And with that, let us know in the comments what you want to see us start working on next and what you'd like to see featured that we maybe haven't done anything with for a while. Thanks for watching. And of course, we'll see you next time. I like this chair. This is quite a nice place to sit. It's kind of regal.